In our today's lecture, we will discuss about effect of back pressure, effect of back pressure on the performance of nozzle flow, or we can say the effect of back pressure on the performance of flow through the nozzle. Okay, because later we have discussed in our last class about the isentropic flow for the nozzle as well as the critical properties, in which we have discussed about the relations between the temperature, pressure as well as the density, between density ratios for the stagnation as well as critical properties. And the critical properties are the properties which are correspond to the Mach number equal to 1. Okay. Today we will discuss the effect of back pressure. First, you should understand what is the back pressure. So the back pressure is the pressure in the exhaust region outside the nozzle. Means at the outside of the nozzle, exit side, some pressure exists. As we already know that fluid flow occurs only because of the pressure difference. So when the difference exists, then only the fluid flow from one region to another region. So the back pressure is the pressure that is at the exhaust region. Now, why we are going to discuss this? Because the nozzles are the devices which are used for the different type of applications, like measurement of the flow through different equipment or measurement of the fluid, maybe the compressive or maybe the incompressible fluid. So there are two cases in which we will study the what is the effect of back pressure on the performance of the nozzle flow. First case we are taking the converging nozzle, also called as the convergent nozzle. So what is the convergent nozzle? The convergent nozzle is that in which the cross section area decreases from inlet side to outlet side. Suppose this is the inlet side and this is the outlet side. So this is the one is the inlet side and two is the outlet section, and the fluid is flowing in this direction. Then this nozzle is called as the convergent nozzle, or you can also say it is as called as the converging nozzle. Okay. Nozzle may be also diverging type, in which the area will decrease, just opposite of this one. And nozzle may be also of the convergent divergent type. The first section will be the convergent type and the later section will be the divergent type. So here we will discuss these two cases. So here in the first case, you can see in the converging nozzle, here you see, this is the nozzle section. So initially, here it is written C equal to 0. C means velocity is 0, as well as pressure P0, it is the stagnation pressure, and temperature is the stagnation temperature. So here, whatever the fluid exists here at this condition, it is having the stagnation property. Here, because velocity is 0 means fluid is not moving at all, and when the fluid is not moving, the pressure is P naught here, temperature is T naught here. Okay. Now, when you will come here at this section here, then the fluid starts moving and fluid will pass through this converging section. Fluid will pass through this converging section. So this is called as the convergent nozzle, where the area is decreasing from inlet to outlet. Now see here at this section. At this section, you can see here, this is the P. P is the exhaust region, where the P is the exhaust pressure or pressure here at this exit section. PB here is called like the back pressure. So what is the back pressure? It is the exhaust region outside the nozzle. So outside the nozzle, we are using a valve here. We are using a valve here, and with the help of this valve, we can reduce the pressure at the, and we can reduce this back pressure. So at our will, we can reduce the pressure. Then when we will reduce the back pressure, what will be its effect on the flow? We will discuss here. Okay. So just you have to see here from this portion to this portion. This is the converging part, and the flow will occur across this nozzle. This is the exit pressure PE at the exhaust region, and this is the PB, which is showing the back pressure and this back pressure is being varied with the help of the valve to adjust it. Now, what is its effect? Actually, when the flow start from this, so definitely the flow velocity will increase and the pressure will decrease. This is the function of the nozzle. It converts the pressure energy into the kinetic energy. Now see here, see this graph. You can see this direction. This direction is along the nozzle, means from the inlet section towards the outlet section. Okay, so this is along the nozzle. Now see here. Here we are showing the pressure P, and this is the point A. So you can see if we follow this line, then this line is indicating from the inlet side to the outlet side, pressure is not changing at all. Pressure is constant. So when across the inlet and outlet of the nozzle, if the pressure is constant, it means there is no fluid flow. When the pressure is constant, there is no fluid flow. Fluid will not flow at all. Okay. Now, if you see the another curve B, you can follow this curve. So here, when the pressure decreases, it is following this curve B. So you can see here at the outlet side, pressure is decreasing here. Pressure is decreased here. So how we are obtaining or getting this decreased pressure, because we are using a valve here. So with the help of the valve, we will reduce the back pressure. So when the back pressure will be reduced or the decreased, definitely this P will also decrease. So when this exit pressure will decrease, and here we are getting the stagnation pressure. So because of the pressure difference, fluid will start to flow. So the only condition which is required for the fluid flow, we have to reduce this back pressure and so the exit pressure. So the curve B indicates the decreasing the back pressure, and that will cause the fluid to flow through this converging nozzle. If we further reduce the pressure till this point C with the help of this valve, then the fluid will flow. But here what will happen? Actually, when we are reducing the pressure, the velocity will increase. Pressure will decrease, but the velocity will increase. So more and more velocity will increase. So at this point A, correspond to this horizontal line, there is no fluid flow, but when we are reducing some pressure, when we are following the curve B, then the pressure will be reduced and the velocity will increase slightly. And this will be in the subsonic region, because here m will be less than 1. If we further reduce the pressure, when we are following this curve C, yes, we have further reduce the pressure, then what will happen? Further velocity will increase, but still there will be the subsonic flow. And if we follow this D, further reducing the pressure, if we can follow this D, means we are getting this step curve because it is showing the pressure variation. So on further reduction of the pressure, what happens? Further the velocity will increase. But while reducing this pressure at the exit side, what is happening on the flow? So we are also having another curves for the mass flow rate, which is shown here by the m dot, as well as for the with the ratio of the exit pressure to the stagnation pressure, as well as back pressure to the stagnation pressure. So just see here first this curve B, this graph B. So in the graph B, you can see a point is here. This is the point A. A point you can see here also. So here actually along this line there is no change in the pressure. So because there is no change in the pressure, then the fluid will not be there. So here you can see this is the correspond to A. This is point A, and at this point A, the value given here is 1.0. It means 1.0 means PB by PV upon P naught, that is equal to 1. PB and P naught equal to 1. It means it says that PV equal to P naught, means both the pressure are same. When the pressure are same, the fluid will not flow. So it is clear from this point A, and which is giving the value 1.0 for the PV by P naught. Now, if we are going towards upward, we are getting point B. Actually, on this vertical axis, we are showing the mass flow rate. So at point A, where the value of PV by P naught is 1.0, there is no mass flow rate. Mass flow rate M having the value 0 at this point, but correspond to this point B. When we have slightly reduced the pressure, here you can see this is the showing the point B. Here we have reduced slightly pressure at the exit side or the back pressure. So on reducing this pressure here, what will happen? Slightly the mass flow rate will increase, and you can see here correspond to this point. This will be the mass flow rate at this point. That we can write here. Suppose it is MB. This is the mass flow rate correspond to this point B. If we further reduce the pressure, so suppose we are getting this point C. At point C means on further reduction of the back pressure, the mass flow rate will increase, and we are getting this value of mass flow rate. Suppose it is MC. So what is happening when we are reducing the back pressure? The fluid will more and more fluid will flow through the nozzle, and because of that, the mass flow rate will increase. Okay. If you see the point D, here also shown, the point D is here. On further reduction of the back pressure, we are getting the point D. And at point D, approximately we are getting the maximum amount of the mass flow rate. We are getting the maximum amount of the mass flow rate corresponding to point D or maybe point E. Now, at the same time, see here in the another curve also, which is the curve, the graph C. According to this graph C, we are having here uh, critical pressure P by P naught on this vertical axis, and on the horizontal axis we are getting P by P naught. So see this point A. This point A indicates at this point P by P naught, this is equal to 1, as well as P by P naught will be equal to 1. So here we can say PB equal to P naught as well equal to PE. All are same. All the pressures are same. So when all the pressures are same at point A, there is no fluid flow. Okay, no fluid flow will occur. Now, now we are following this curve. We are further reducing the pressure and we are getting the point B. Point B here. It means when we are going downward, definitely the P will reduce, because at this point the value of P by P naught is 1. But when we are going downward or when we are going leftward, definitely the value of PB as well as value of PE both are reducing. So at this point B, we are seeing that pressure is going to be reduced. When the pressure is going to be reduced, definitely the back pressure will be reduced. At the same time, exit pressure will also be reduced. Means here from this, with the help of this valve, if we will reduce the PB back pressure, definitely this P will also be reduced. So P is also going to be reduced here. Point B. Further, we are further reducing the back pressure. Then we are getting the point C. At point C also, further the pressure is going to be reduced here. Okay. And on further reduction of the pressure, we are getting the point D. See this point D is very, very important, because on reduction of the pressure or the back pressure or the exit pressure, we are getting the point D, and correspond to point D, we are getting a pressure ratio which is P star by P naught. This is the critical condition. Here we are getting the critical pressure. On reduction of the pressure, we are getting the point D, and now from this curve B, correspond to point D, we are getting the maximum amount of the mass flow rate. We are getting the maximum amount of mass flow rate on the reduction of the pressure. If we further reduce the pressure, suppose at point D, at point E, there will be no change in the mass flow rate. So correspond to D, the pressure which is called the critical pressure correspond to the point D. It indicates that it is the critical condition at which the maximum discharge rate occurs in the converging nozzle. If we further reduce the pressure, then this expansion of the fluid will occur outside the nozzle. Means this is the converging nozzle, is the end portion. At this point, we are getting the maximum mass flow rate. M max we will get at this portion by reducing the back pressure. And if beyond this point, if we further reduce the pressure at the exit side, what will happen? we will, the mass flow rate will not increase beyond this point. Means we will get the mass flow rate maximum at this point only. Okay, and on further reduction of the pressure, the point will move outside the nozzle. Point will lie here, or the fluid will expand here. So there will be no effect on the further reduction of the pressure for this case. So this graph says about or concludes about that for the converging nozzle, the critical condition exists at the throat of the nozzle or at the exit portion, where we will get the maximum mass flow rate. So in this case, maximum mass flow rate can be achieved at the exit of this nozzle. Beyond that, we further reduce the pressure. There is no change in the pressure, and that point will lie outside the nozzle. So this case I have discussed. If you have any doubt, please ask the question in this portion. Otherwise, I am going further. If you have any question, please ask. Any one of you? No question? Okay. So next, I am going to discuss here the convergent divergent nozzle. Convergent divergent nozzle. Now see here, it is very important because in this we will discuss about the normal shock wave as well as the oblique shock wave. So here, in this case, the shape of the nozzle is first is the converging type, where the area will go on decreasing. This is the here the area will go on decreasing, and then we are getting a throat portion where the area is constant, and later on the area is going on increasing. So this type of shape of the nozzle is called as the converging, diverging, or convergent divergent type of nozzle. Now here we are also getting here at this point we are getting the exit pressure, which is the P, and back pressure, which is the PB. Okay, so the how to reduce the pressure? It is the same as the earlier. With the help of a valve at the outlet side here, we are reducing the pressure at the exit side. Now, what happens in this case? So, from the beginning, here at this section, you will see C equal to 0, means velocity of the flow is 0 here. And correspond to this zero velocity or the rest condition of the fluid, you will see pressure is the stagnation pressure, which is P naught, temperature T naught. So you can see this line, horizontal line. This line indicates there is no change in the pressure. Horizontal line indicates the pressure is same, it is not varying. It means pressure, which is the stagnation pressure, this will be equal to the exit pressure, which is PE, and this pressure PE will be equal to the back pressure. So when there is the uniformity of all these pressure, means pressure here which is P naught, pressure here it is P, and pressure it is PB. When these three pressures are same, the fluid will not flow. So no flow will occur here. So this is the condition corresponding to no flow in the nozzle. No flow condition. Now, when we reduce the pressure, so you can see this is the dashed line. Dashed line is at the point where the throat is there in the nozzle, and throat is the section of the nozzle where the cross sectional area is constant. So see here the curve B shown here. This is the curve B, and we are following this curve. So when we are following this curve, means we are decreasing the pressure. We are decreasing the pressure. So in this converging portion up to the throat, the pressure is going to be decreased. Definitely when the pressure will decrease, velocity will increase. Pressure will decrease, velocity will increase. And in the divergent portion, when we are moving the divergent portion, the flow will be only in the subsonic, because in the diverging portion, the area is going to increase. In the converging portion, area is going to decrease. But in the diverging portion, area is going to decrease. So the fluid velocity will increase, but it will be in the subsonic region as per the curve B. When we reduce the back pressure with the help of a valve here. So the back pressure with the help of this pressure, so this will be in the subsonic region. On further reduction of the back pressure, suppose we are following this curve C. So with the this curve C also, you can see the velocity will further increase because we are reducing the more pressure, so the velocity will further increase. And then after passing through this throat section, it will follow this. So this is the diffuser portion, subsonic region of the diffuser portion. This is the subsonic region of the nozzle portion. This is the nozzle. This is the diffuser portion. Okay. Now see the curve D. So curve D is along this path. Curve D is along this path only. So first in the converging portion, when we have reduced the more pressure, then the velocity will increase, pressure will decrease, and then pressure will increase in the diffuser portion. So actually correspond to the particular amount of pressure, as we have also seen in the first case. In the first case, we get the Mach number equal to 1 here at point D. At point D, we get the Mach number equal to 1. This is the critical condition. Similarly, in the convergent divergent nozzle portion also correspond to this point. When we reduce the pressure, we get the Mach number equal to 1 at this point, and the curve followed, which is the curve D. This curve is followed here. And here the pressure will be the critical pressure denoted by the P star. Now, beyond this point, because here up to this convergent portion, we are getting the Mach number as well as maximum discharge at the throat portion here. If we are further reducing the pressure by the valve here, what will happen? In the divergent portion, what will happen? Further, there is a drop in the pressure. Further, there is a drop in the pressure. You can see this portion. See this portion. Particularly this portion, when we are further reducing the back pressure or the axial pressure. Actually, this is happening in the divergent portion. This is in the divergent portion. This part, in this part, this will happen. So what will happen in the divergent portion? If we are further reducing the back pressure, then the velocity will further increase. And here in this portion, Mach number will be greater than 1 and the flow will be supersonic. Convergent portion here, you can see here in the convergent portion, Mach number will be less than 1. There will be subsonic flow. At the throat, here Mach number will be 1. It is the sonic flow. But in the divergent portion, Mach number will be greater than 1. So it is the supersonic flow. So in the supersonic flow or in the divergent region of the nozzle, on further reduction of the pressure, what happens? What happens? The velocity will further increase. We are reducing the pressure in the divergent portion, velocity will further increase and the flow will be the supersonic. But after a certain limit, when we are further reducing the pressure, there is the change in the flow pattern. There is the generation of a shock wave. This is the generation of the shock wave. This is called as the normal shock, non-normal shock. So in the divergent portion of the nozzle only, there will be generation of a normal shock because of the disturbance in the flow. Because the flow will change from the convergent portion to the divergent portion. It will be from subsonic to supersonic. But in the supersonic flow, in the flow in the divergent portion, a normal shock, a disturbance will generate, and this will increase the pressure. You can see the pressure is because of this disturbance or the normal shock wave. There is that decrease, there is the increase in the pressure, and because of the increase in pressure, here the supersonic flow will be changed to subsonic flow. Supersonic flow is changed to subsonic flow. This is important to understand. Supersonic to subsonic. So just you have to understand that in the divergent portion only, when the flow is supersonic, because of the disturbance in the flow, this supersonic flow is converted or changed to subsonic flow because there is a generation of a normal shock wave due to the disturbance in the flow. So you can see this is the normal shock wave and the pressure is increases along this curve. On the further reduction of the pressure on the later part of the divergent portion of the nozzle, you can see there is also another normal shock wave. So it is indicated by the E. This curve is indicated by the F. So F is also a normal shock wave. It is also a normal shock wave, but it is in the later part of the nozzle. So this will also convert supersonic flow to subsonic flow. You can see after this normal shock wave, you will see the pressure is going to increase. Okay, further. Okay. Okay, and then in the next part or the later part of the nozzle toward the exit side. Here at this point, we are going toward the nozzle exit. We are going toward the nozzle exit. What is happening here? Corresponding to this curve G, it is showing the at the end of the nozzle. This is the diffuser part or the divergent part of the nozzle. At this side, you can see here. At this part, here, what will happen? We are getting this curve G. So actually, in our convergent divergent nozzle, we are getting a normal shock wave here at the outlet side. Okay, but suppose beyond this point, we are further reducing the pressure with the help of this valve. We are further reducing the pressure. So what will happen? Then outside the nozzle, not inside the nozzle, there is the formation of the oblique shock waves. So you can see correspond to this curve H, a wave is generated, but this wave is the oblique shock wave. And this oblique shock wave generates, but it exists not there, but it exists somewhere else here. Means outside the nozzle, there will be generation of some not oblique shock waves here outside the nozzle, and there is the expansion of the fluid, but it will occur outside of this divergent portion of the nozzle. So here these curves indicates how the fluid flow occurs and what is the effect of back pressure on the nozzle flow. So we have discussed here both the portions or both the cases. One is the for the convergent portion and another for the divergent portion. Okay. So I think if it is clear to you, you are now having any question, please ask me. This is over here, but if you are having any question, please ask me. You are free to ask.